What's going on, everyone? This is the second part of the discussion for the 20 principles Raymond Oppenheimer provided us for breeding better dogs. So here is the 11th principle. Breeding does not create anything. What you get is what was there to begin with. It may have been hidden for many generations, but it was there. What he's trying to tell us is, if you have created something nice, if you have created dogs that are quality, maybe don't be too full of yourself. Like you've created something, you've created the line, you've created the breed. The creators of the breed, I call them actually the architect of the breed, has created for us already. All right, so just settle down, focus on improving the breed and continue doing your quality breedings. All right, but on the other side, if you're able to produce some dogs that have flaws, probably he's telling us that don't be too hard on yourself for producing some low quality puppies, because they may not appear on some of the dogs that you see on the pedigree, but surely they have been there. It was already there, but it just so happened that it appeared on your breeding. And don't be too hard on yourself. The 12th principle is discard the old cliche about the littermate of that great producer being just as good to breed to. Littermates seldom have the same genetic makeup. What he's trying to tell us is that even littermates don't have equal capability of producing. They are not designed to produce identical puppies, because science will support that even littermates have different genetic makeups. All right? Not even the best looking puppy or dog in the litter will automatically be the best producer. It might actually be the second best, third best. So do not always conclude that if there is a great producer and you cannot breed to that great producer, that you'll just settle to the littermate. All right? Never settle. Go to the source. The 13th principle is be honest with yourself. There are no perfect dogs, nor are there perfect producers. You cannot do a competent job of breeding if you cannot recognize the faults and virtues of the dogs you plan to breed. Again, I have touched this a couple of times, that the only way for you to be able to be an effective breeder is for you to know what are the strengths and weaknesses of this breed, the faults, the strong points of this breed. Study the breed. Since there are no perfect dogs, what you can equip yourself is a perfect knowledge about your breed. If you have this well-versed and you have this complete knowledge of the breed, every time you produce a subpar litter, you right away identify it. You already know whether you should stop breeding this dog or this female dog, because you're equipped with complete knowledge of the breed. But if you're not aware of the faults, the strengths and weaknesses of these dogs, you'd probably continue breeding and breeding and breeding these dogs, this bloodline, this lineage, All right? And that's very irresponsible. Here is when kennel blindness should be eliminated. That's why Raymond said, be honest with yourself. Accept the fact that the dogs you have in your yard probably is not producing quality puppies. And you can move on. And the best thing about it is we can easily move on. There are so many choices in the field. There's so many choices in the horizon. Okay? Don't be blinded by whatever you have in your yard. The 14th principle is hereditary traits are inherited equally from both parents. Do not expect to solve all your problems in one generation. Raymond is trying to tell us that if you have a dog that has probably a kink tail and you have this mentality that I'll just find a dog that has a full tail and right away eliminate this kink tail among its puppies, then you're mistaken. Alright? You're very, very wrong. It will take generations after generations for you to at least lessen the chances of having kink tails. And the same is true to other faults. This is prevalent nowadays. Why did I say that? Because people tend to look for the bargain, for deals, and they will buy a faulty dog that they can afford for them just to have this chance of owning this dog and breeding it in the future. You have that breeder mindset right away, even before you become a dog man. Even before you understood fully the breed of your choice, you're already thinking ahead of breeding. And then you chose to buy a faulty dog, thinking you just need to breed it to a perfectly flawless dog and eliminate the fault. No, it doesn't work like that. The number 15th and number 16th principle is so closely related that I shall read them both at once. Number 15 says, if the worst puppy in your last litter is no better than the worst puppy in your first litter, you're not making progress. Your last litter should be your last litter. And number 16 is, if the best puppy in your last litter is no better than the best puppy in your first litter, then you are not making progress. Your last litter, again, should be your last litter involving the dogs that you have. He's just being frank and straightforward that you have chosen bad dogs. Dogs that cannot produce quality traits. You should just stop and move on. The 17th principle is, do not choose a breeding animal by either the best or the worst that he or she has produced. Evaluate the total get by the attributes of the majority. He's trying to tell us that if you're choosing who to breed to, do not look at just one dog that he produced, one or two dogs that he produced, or a litter that he produced. Look for consistency. Look for other litters he produced and evaluate the consistency of the majority of the puppies. Do not judge a stud or a female dog based on one or two dogs that they have produced. The 18th principle is, keep in mind that quality is a combination of soundness and function. It is not merely the lack of faults, but the positive presence of virtues. It is the whole dog that counts. He's trying to tell us that we should not fault find. We should not just pick faults on a dog. We should look at a dog as a whole. For example, one example of fault that most people try to nitpick is the bite fault for the American Bully. But what if this dog that has an underbite possesses breed type, soundness, the function? As a whole, this dog is a good representation of the breed as described by the creators of the breed, and it supports the breed type. And it just so happened it has a slight underbite. What Raymond Oppenheimer is telling us is don't frown on that dog just because of a slight underbite. Look at the dog as a whole. And since we are talking about breeding, then probably the whole of this dog is way greater than one fault that it possesses. The 19th principle is don't allow personal feelings to influence your choice of breeding stock. The right dog for your breeding program is the right dog, whoever owns it. Don't ever decry a good dog. They are too rare and wonderful to be demeaned by pettiness. It's so refreshing to read and learn about this 19th principle because a few months ago I was able to mention on a video of mine I did that what if the dog that we really need and that we really want, what if that dog is owned by someone from a rival kennel group? What if that dog is owned by someone we don't like? What Raymond is telling us, if you're a true breeder, you should set aside personal differences because as a true breeder, you're after the improvement of the breed. And if that dog really is the ultimate dog for your female or for your stud, then no matter what personal gripe you have against the owner, Raymond is telling us to still do the program if you're allowed to. And for the last but not the least, the 20th principle from Raymond Oppenheimer is don't be satisfied with anything but the best. The second best is never good enough. He is just basically telling us to raise our standards. You're not here just to take part. You're supposed to have this mentality to take over. Breed for perfect dogs or breed for the best puppies you can ever produce. Don't settle for mediocrity. Don't go with the flow. Be the flow. And that ends the discussion for the 20 breeding principles that was provided to us by Raymond Oppenheimer. We're thankful to Raymond for providing us these tips and these principles, and I hope I was able to somehow, expound a little bit and share some of my insights and help you understand these 20 principles. And with that being said, I hope you continue supporting this channel. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video.